Hello, Flosstube. My name is Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches. For those of you who are returning subscribers, thank you very much for being here. For those of you who may have come to my channel for the first time, welcome. And if you want to keep, if you like what you see and you want to keep getting these videos, hit the subscribe button, and the notifications little bell will tell you every time I do an update, which is typically every Saturday. It's a little late in the evening. Pay no attention to the clock behind me. It doesn't keep time. It is now 5:30. Been doing a bunch of stuff today. Been working out in our garage because we're replacing our garage door, and we have. I think the guy is coming like in the beginning of February, like the 3rd or something like that. So we're going to have to get everything out of the way up to a certain point. So we're kind of going through that. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there. And there was something about that I was going to mention. A bunch of, I have a bunch of cross-stitch stuff out there. Yeah, I don't know what I was going to say. Anyway, so I've been doing that all day. And I did have some stitching though, so yeah. This is the channel about cross stitch, in case you were wondering. And I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. I talked about last week about how I'm doing WIPGO this year. WIPGO, and what it is, it's like bingo. You have on your WIPGO board, you have the letters and numbers if you want, like bingo, or you can have as she's doing it this year. I think she has them numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 through 25. But I did mine the other way, so I may go through and number them just so that I know for sure which number she called. Anyway, so I put all my whips on there, and I actually had not quite 25. I had 3 slots that were empty, so I put New Start on there on those 3, because of course once I start them, they'll become whips. So anyway, so I put the whips that I had on here, and I had said last week that I put just chose an arbitrary number of 15 days for each one. But then I realized that I really, that's a little unrealistic in terms of what I can get done or whatever. So I went through the other day and changed it to 10 days on most things, and then finishing as a goal for some of them. Like I had talked about Beneath the Bow. It's a little scissor fob thing, and it's about probably halfway done or so. So I had that as a finish for the goal on that. So if that gets called, I have a whole month to finish it. So yeah, that'd be easy enough to do. And I have Western Biscornu is a designed by Tiny Modernist. That's probably I'd probably be able to do that in a month as well. So anyway, so I went through and modified my goals on my WIPGO board, and we'll see how that turns out. Now, the 2 that were called this month were Spring Scamper and Piano Cat, number 2 and number 19. So Piano Cat was the one I talked about last week that I had done. I had oriented the fabric wrong. I had oriented the fabric this way, horizontally, instead of vertically the way it's supposed to be, and couldn't fix it. And I had done a lot of, it's a very pixelated pattern. I had done a lot of the one gray color, and so my only choice really was to start over again. So I worked a couple days, I think, only on here, and got that far. You can't really tell that it's a cat, but it is, I promise. So yeah, so I'm working on that. And then put that over here. Put that over here. Put this over here. Okay. That's going to fall off of there. Okay. And then the other one that was called was Spring Scamper by Luminous Fiber Arts. This, let me backtrack a little bit. Sorry for my face being so close. Piano Cat, this is a DesignWorks kit. And it was designed by, it says Pipsqueak Productions. Yeah, I don't know the specific name of the name of the designer. I don't have that information. But anyway, this is a kit, and it came with Ada and the kit threads, and that's what I was stitching on. Actually, it's a very soft Ada. It's not at all stiff. This fabric actually is stiffer. You know, this is Lugana, 28 count Lugana. So I'm stitching 2 over 2 on there. And one thing I found that was kind of odd, and it could be my needle, it could be the fact that this fabric is a little stiff. But I had, you know, it comes with the kit threads in there, but they're, you know, they're basically DMC alternatives, you know, equivalents, I should say. And so what I was doing, because, you know, it's such a long, I'm doing long sections of it, you know, because it's so pixelated. And I didn't want to have to restart new threads all the time. So I had like just 2 individual threads out of the, you know, because they're kind of pre-cut lengths. And I had, you know, 2 threads, and I'd get about maybe 3/4 of the way through the thread, and all of a sudden one of the 2 threads would just basically disintegrate. It would come apart, and I'd, you know, so I'd have to cut the thread, or, you know, and so I started just using 1 thread at a time and doing the loop method, you know, folding it in half and anchoring it on the loop, and I didn't have that problem at all this time. So I don't know what the deal is, but yeah. So there's Piano Cat, and I'm hoping to get it in a few more days, because the goal in that is 10 days, and I've only done 2 so far. So, and then this one, Spring Scamper. This is by Misty Pursel of Luminous Fiber Arts, and so it's a really cute pattern. And Leslie Hurley, I don't know if she has a Fat Cat Flossing is the name of her Flosstube channel, and she mentioned this pattern. She's gonna start it, I think. Yeah. But yeah, you could do, like she was saying, you could do any one of these, you know, as individual motifs, as a, you know, as a like a small, you know, a small, if you wanted to make an ornament, or you wanted to just do spring kind of, you know, themed smalls or whatever. But anyway, so I had, but she's working on this pattern. So I had as my goal, my WIPGO goal, 15 days. And I thought, well, that's not really realistic. You know, to do 15 days on both of them, I'd have to, like, you know, do both of them at the same time on the same day or whatever. And that's not really my jam. But so I changed them. So this one, I changed the goal. Instead of doing a specific number of days, my goal is to do the Carrot Mobile. And I'm mostly done with it. What I need to do to, and I'm not talking about the animals that are riding on it, I'm talking about just the carrot itself. So I put the little handlebar on there and the wheels. And I did a little work on this rabbit here just because he was there, and I, you know, and I wanted to do as much as possible on him before I had to move the hoop, because I'm going to have to do it. So I did this little carrot over here because it was close enough that I could count it. And it needs the little green fronds on there, and which are is the same color as the fronds on this side. So I want to start and do these little green fronds, and then move the hoop and do this over here. And there's another carrot like that, little carrot down here, close to these green fronds. So that I should be able to put that in as well. I think just, because I'll be in that area. So maybe I'll finish this little bunny. There's one color that goes on the inside of his ear here, and then another color that goes under his tail here, and he'd be done. Oh, and then and then his eye. There's a one stitch that goes at his eye there. And then there's like a chicken and another bunny, I think, on the back. But I'm not going to do those this time around. I'm just going to finish this carrot mobile, finish the fronds of the carrot, and say that I've met my goal. So and this is, I want to say 32 count. Yeah, probably 32 count linen, and I dyed this myself. The other Lugana that I restarted the Piano Cat on is 28 count, and it also is dyed it myself. This is kind of like a green and yellow, and you can see the yellow in there, but it's kind of a green color, springy. And this is a light blue. You can see it. Yeah. There's a little bit of modeling, but not a whole lot, I think, in that. Anyway, so those are my two WIPGO pieces that I'm doing. And then also, I don't know how much of this I want to show, because it's kind of a secret. Oh, hello, there's a random thread there. Secret stitch. It's not quite done. Actually, I could probably finish it today because there's only 2 more colors, and it's a very small design. And what I did was I took some elements from one design and put them together to make another design. And someday I'll stitch the full design, the pattern as is. But in the meantime, I did this one. So I don't want to show the whole thing, but this is also on I had done for my nephew some towels that I bought at Hobby Lobby, and this is also from Hobby Lobby. This is a dish towel, a kitchen towel, and this, though, in comparison to the one I did for him, the one I did for my nephew, for my nephew Eli, was a fluffy white towel with an Ada insert on it. And then I did one also for my nephew Rob, where I just used it's like a kitchen dish towel thing, and it's very even weave, very tiny even weave, and I did the Andorian on there for him. So this is another dish towel, but this is like it's larger than 28. So I'm assuming it's 26. I mean 20. The other way around, 24, or even maybe 22 or something. It's very large. It's kind of large, and it's very loose. The the needle that I'm using could probably stand to be. I could probably use even a bigger needle, but the needle keeps like falling out. Because the weave is so loose. But it's very easy to stitch on. The only problem is because I had to reposition the elements that I was using for the design. I had to unstitch a couple of times because I just made a boo-boo, because I'm stitching over 2. On one of them, I stitched. I missed it by half a stitch. It was over 1 instead of over 2. I skipped over just 1 block instead of over 2. And so when I went to do the next color, it's like, well, that's not going to fit. Is this because it has to go in between? It's like, it's not going to fit. So I had to undo it, and I had done several stitches in that color. So I had to, I had to undo them all in order to, because everything, was in relation to that. So I had to undo the whole thing and redo it. And then there was something else I did wrong. I had to undo the whole thing and redo it. And then just now, something because I had had to move things around to make this new design, I had miscalculated, and I was like, these things, the bottoms are supposed to match, and I thought, well, this one doesn't match, so I had to like undo everything that so I've spent as much time unstitching as stitching. So I'm just going to show a little sneak peek so I can do it without showing the whole thing right there. Just a little bit. So this darker color here, where the little 4 things, and there's like 3 little stitches together here, that's the color. I had to undo the whole thing. So yeah. So if it weren't for unstitching, I'd probably be finished with this by now. So anyway, that one, I started that on Friday, and today is Saturday, and if I just take a few minutes, I should be able to finish it. So anyway, and I'll talk more about that when it's done. So then I have a piece of thread that hitched along to the ride. So then I am going to go ahead and talk about haul. I had a little bit of haul. So I talked about last week about some patterns that I had from StitchyPrincess, and her name is something in Russia, Kateryna. Let's see if I got her name right here. Kateryna Voskoboinykova. Voskoboinykova. StitchyPrincess. But so I ordered some more patterns from her. This is the fox family. And there's a little fox family. You can see them in their winter den, huddled up. There's the mama and the papa and the baby. And there looks like a little owl, a little bird over there on the tree. And there's snow falling all around. So they're huddled up in their den. The fox family. And then this one, Woodland Christmas. It's another designs. And there's a fox on the gift box there. He's got a little garland in his mouth. And there's a bunny with an ornament, and they're decorating this Christmas tree. And there's a little hedgehog, and there's another hedgehog. And there's some more birdies up there. Yeah. So, Woodland Christmas. And again, this is by StitchyPrincess. And then, this is a Twin Peak Primatives pattern. This was featured on Just Keep Stitching. It's their pattern of the week that the twins promote. The Just Keep Stitching promotes of the twins designs. A silver winter night in the woods, and there's an owl and this moon and clouds and an alphabet there. When I stitch it, I'll probably use a slightly darker fabric to make the gray and the white pop a little more. But that's really pretty. I like that owl. It's really pretty. So this is again by Twin Peak Primatives. Twin Peak Primatives, a silent winter night in the woods. In the wood. Very pretty. I think that's all I have. Oh, yeah, that's all I have right here. Yeah. So these are PDF files, so really nice. And I had mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned it on this channel, but there's a pattern that I had seen some time ago that I wanted to order, and I had written it in my phone. Just so I would forget the name of it, and it's called April Dolce Dormir by Madame Chantilly. Sweet Sleep, Dolce Dormir. But it's a picture. It's a pattern that has like a mother and father bunny, and a young little bunny that falls asleep on top of a carrot in a wheelbarrow. It's very, very cute. That's coming. I went ahead and ordered it from 123 Stitch, I think. And I had a message yesterday that it was on its way. And, you know, at the time I placed the order, you know, that people always say, no pattern should travel alone. And I thought, well, surely there's another pattern in there I could order. And then I just thought, yeah, I'm not going to do it. And so I was cleaning up my phone a little bit, and I had, you know, where I'd written the Dolce Namir note in there. And I realized right next to it, I had a note about another pattern that I wanted. What is it? It's a biscornu. It's something about airmail. But I liked it. I just, if I had thought about it, I would have, you know, looked for it on the 123 Stitch site and put it in that order. But anyway, so, and then I was at Hobby Lobby because I had a gift card burning a hole in my pocket. And I went, I think, the other day. But anyway, I went yesterday. And so I just bought a couple of hoops because, you know, I can never have too many. And then I bought these beads. And these two charms, and I'll talk about that in a minute. If you look, they're little birds. What I was looking for actually was cardinals, and I couldn't find cardinals specifically, but these little birds are almost as good. Little charm. So the reason I was looking for them is that one of my subscribers, Charlotte Jorgensen, I should remember that name, Jorgensen, because, yeah, Charlotte Jorgensen. One of my colleagues in the symphony in Little Rock, Dick Jorgensen, he was our principal trumpet player. He retired a couple years ago, I guess. But yeah, Dick was in the symphony the whole time I was in there, so I know that last name, Jorgensen, very well. Anyway, Charlotte contacted me, and she has a kit, and I'm going to do a giveaway, I think. I'm at about 250 something subscribers, and I'd like to hit 300. But and I was thinking about doing a giveaway when I hit 300, but I haven't really, you know, chased after that goal very hard. But anyway, she had contacted me that she had an item that I could use as a giveaway. And so I think I'm not going to wait till I hit 300. I'm just going to do this giveaway. So anyway, but she has the kit. So whoever would win the giveaway, she would mail the kit from her house. You know, she would do that mailing. I've got a shiny spot on my nose, and I want to make sure that I don't have something. It's just shiny. Anyway, so whoever I have, you know, choose, I'm going to use my little random roulette wheel to pick a winner, and whoever won it would she would mail the kit, and then I would like to make the scissor fob to go with it. I want to use one of these bird charms, and I chose the red and black beads to look like a cardinal. So this is the kit. Now it's a dimensions kit, and it's partly printed fabric, and then you would stitch the cardinals that are on there. So I guess it's like this part with the tree and the branches and all that is printed, and the cardinals are the stitched part. Is the way I understand it. You know, something like that. But anyway, it's a dimensions kit, and it has been opened, I believe. Let me double check here. It has been, it's a full kit, has been opened, but everything is in there, and it's not stitched. So if that's something that you find interesting, you can let me go. I think I'm not going to do it this week because I still have to make the scissor fob, and I don't want to be rushed in doing that. But let's say next week or so, I'll announce it, but just so that your wheels are turning, get your friends, let your friends know, whatever, and we'll work on that. So not this coming week, but the week after that. But yeah, so I just wanted to let you know that's coming up in 2 weeks' time. And that way I'll have the scissor fob made, and I'll show that next week, along with that cardinal pattern. So I think that's about it. One thing I want to talk about that I watched Priscilla and Chelsea, the Real Housewives of what is it called? Stitching with the Housewives. Stitching with the Housewives. I was watching their channel, and one of the things they do is they do giveaways at the end with every episode, and I didn't necessarily want to enter the giveaway, but they have a question for each time they do a giveaway, a question for you to answer, whatever, or something. And so she was asking about funny stories about travel, and so I think I'm going to submit the story, not enter the giveaway, but just to submit the story. But my younger sister, and I both accidentally bought the same purse. And when I lived in Little Rock, I would usually drive to Albuquerque, and then hitch a ride. So I would drive to Albuquerque for Christmas, and then hitch a ride with my sisters down to Phoenix for New Year's, spend New Year's with them, fly back to Albuquerque, and then drive back to Little Rock. So I had gone to Albuquerque, and my older sister saw that, Naomi and I were laughing about how we had independently picked the same purse, but Naomi had on her purse a little bracelet that Hannah had given her daughter Hannah had given her. And so my older sister was saying, "You're going to get your purses mixed up." And she's like, "No, this little bracelet, we're not going to get it mixed up." So, it was not a problem while we were together, And then the day I left Phoenix, I didn't have a chance to go by my older sister's house to say goodbye to my nephew. So I took out my phone and called him to say goodbye. And then, fortunately, put the phone in my pocket, not back in my purse. My younger sister took me to the airport, and she had to take her daughter to a physical therapy appointment. So at the airport, she left me there on the curb, and I went in. And fortunately, my flight was delayed, but it was delayed like a couple hours or something. So when I got up to the front, to the counter, I asked the guy, "Is it really delayed?" And he said, "Yeah." And so I went to go check my suitcase, and he said, "Okay, I just need to see your ID." So I put my suitcase up there, popped the purse up on the counter, and I looked down, and I saw Hannah's little bracelet. I was like, "Oh my God, I don't have any ID." Naomi is driving around with no driver's license. And so I was like, "Oh my God, I don't have it." And so fortunately, the guy probably wouldn't be able to do it nowadays, but he let me go ahead and check my suitcase. And so I got out of line, and the first thing I did was I called Naomi, and it was a good thing that I had put my phone in my pocket, because if I had put it in my purse, I wouldn't have had my phone, and I don't know anybody's phone number, And Naomi had my purse and didn't realize it. And so fortunately, like I said, I had my phone, and Naomi had her phone in her pocket and not in her purse. So I was able to call her and say, I have your purse. You have my purse. I'm at the airport. Come and get. So she had, I think she was at the doctor's office. She grabbed her daughter, and they came and picked me up. And then since my flight was delayed, we had time to go, get something to drink or whatever. But so yeah, so that was a close call. And and like I said, nowadays that we all have cell phones. I don't know anybody's number. It's on my cell phone. But yeah, so it was a scary few minutes until she came to pick me up. Anyway, that's my funny travel story. Do you have a funny travel story? uh, so I think that is about it. Um, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to talk about. Anyway, so next week, like I said, hopefully I'm gonna have my little giveaway thing ready to go. So be thinking about it. Tell all your friends that next week I'm gonna have the little giveaway. And I don't know what the criteria is gonna be yet. I may just have you say that you're interested in it. Whatever, we'll see. But yeah, so I will see you next Saturday. Yeah, and I'll show you my progress at the time. So until I see you again next week, happy stitching. Oh, and my sisters and I did record our video, our Three Sisters Creative video that's coming up tomorrow, Sunday. So be ready for that. And that's about it. Okay. So I will see you next week. Until then, happy stitching. Bye.